Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Keeks, back with a brand new video, and I'll be taking another dive into season 5 of Thousand Pound Sisters. Um, the last video on this topic, we talked about the first 3 episodes that had aired, and now they have aired another 3 episodes. So I'll be taking a look at those and talking about what's been going on in them, my thoughts and opinions on everything that's been going on. Right now I really only have like the most recent episode that aired um in my head and some stuff from the previous two. So I get things mixed up on like what happened in which episode and all that. Uh, please forgive me. And with all that said and done, let's jump right into the video. All right, everybody, so let's dive into episode 4 of Thousand Pound Sisters, titled "The Grapes of Wrath." They had a lot going on with this episode. One of the things I want to touch on first is the fact that Amanda and Misty both got their approval for the weight loss surgery, and they both went in. Chris drove them to the hospital and stuff. I believe they had them by the same doctor that did Tammy. Um, I can't think of his name right now. I mentioned it in the last episode. Um, but they both got approved. Went in. Um, they was a bit worried about Misty, just because she was a little older and everything. But everything went fine for both of them. They're doing great. This is actually Amanda's second time getting the surgery and everything. And so, but like I said, everything went fine. Chris was in the whole time. And one of the major things about this episode was them leaving Amy and Tammy alone. Uh, because if you go back and watch episodes from past like seasons 1 and 2, whenever Amy and Tammy, especially when they were living together, they had a very like almost hostile relationship. Like they're sisters, they love each other, but they would just get on each other's nerves all the time. And now with Amy living with Tammy and everything, and Gage and um Glenn, I forgot their names for a second. With Gage and Glenn and Amy living with Tammy, there's a whole lot of stuff going on and everything, especially with all the things that Amy's dealing with going on in this season right now. Um, but it worked fine. See, they got into it a little bit at the beginning. Um, but everything seemed fine, and I'm just so happy that like Amanda and Misty they finally went and had their surgery like they wanted. They got it done. Now almost everybody in the family has had the surgery done, and they're all talking about just doing all this together, working out, and just doing this as a family, which I think is so great and wholesome. So I just want to talk about that little good stuff going on because a lot of drama been happening too. I mean, it's TLC, so with any TLC show, you should expect a lot of drama. Now, Amy and Tammy had a lot going on these last 3 episodes too. I'm gonna focus on Amy right now, and then we'll get into like Tammy and the whole situation with Caleb and all that. Because I have a lot more thoughts on that than I do in the Amy situation. Amy, of course, as everybody knows, like during the season, she's in the midst of divorcing Michael and all that. And we saw at the end of episode 3, she went to the courthouse to file for divorce. Of course, they can't film anything in the courthouse, so it's like they showed her arriving and then her coming out. And we see that when she's come out, she's visibly upset. The producer tries to ask her, what happened. She says, I don't want to talk about it. And then it turns out that Michael went ahead and filed for divorce first and everything, which makes her really upset. She talks about how yeah, I get that it's over, but you're not even gonna fight for me, which I can understand her thinking on that. They've been together for a long time, been married and stuff. Um and that's her baby's father and all that. And I get, it's just overwhelming and everything. And Amy has just been like not taking care of herself, which is not a good thing, especially the fact that, she has two boys to raise. She really, if she's not taking care of herself, then the boys aren't being taken care of. And it's just, it's just a whole thing. A lot of people have been saying that Amy has been acting like Tammy acted like in the old seasons. And even in the most recent episode, even Tammy says this. Just every little thing seems to upset Amy. She hasn't been taking her medicine. She talks about most episode 6. She talks about um she hasn't used the bathroom in 2 weeks, and Amanda and everybody, they're trying to you know be there for her and stuff and talk to her, but she just takes it as an attack on her person and then just runs away from the situation, which is not a healthy way to cope with things. Um, I actually know because it's how I used to cope with things and sometimes still do. So yeah, it's not a good thing to just like walk away, especially when people are trying to help you. She needs to be open to help. But the only thing you can do is like be there for her and like try to show her that, and hopefully, I think she does realize it, but everything that's been going on, she says she's just overwhelmed by raising the boys alone. And hey, um, I'm not gonna say anything about that because as somebody who doesn't have any kids, I can't touch on that. But I watched my best friend with her kids and everything she goes through, and I get that. I can see how hard it can be. Even when you do have the support and everything, it's raising kids. It's got to be tough. I assume it's tough. You know, but she's just like really become such like a different person than from what she was before, and it's crazy to see like the switch because like I said earlier, it's like they've literally switched personalities. um Amy is now like taking um everything to heart and becoming so like defensive over everything. And Tammy's a lot more calmer. There was one scene in episode 4 where she kind of snapped at Amy. She kind of had her reasons. Um, and so there was a little bit of old Tammy in that previous episode, and but she's still been trying to like help Tammy and everything. In fact, they went to go eat at a restaurant, and it was the episode or episode 5. I can't remember which, but they went to go eat at some sushi restaurant. And so it's her, Tammy, Amy's two boys, Gage and Glenn. And it was this fancy sushi restaurant. And they're talking about what they're going to order. Well, the two boys, Glenn, he's like only like almost a year old now. He's doing fine. He's kind of like trying out the foods they get him. But Gage is just running around the place with Amy chasing him. And she gets upset and decides to leave. And she talks about um how Gage is upset because he wants his daddy and all that stuff. And this is my personal opinion. I don't think the divorce is gonna like have any like huge negative effects on the boys because they are so young. They are so young, and I doubt they even like develop any kind of like attachment to Michael, since most time he was just playing games and he didn't really interact with them much. Um, so I think Amy was overwhelmed and she's just like saying what she thinks is going on with them. But I think in this case, this was just Gage being a 2-year-old. The 2-year-olds are known for being very hyper. They call them terrible twos for a reason. You know, and I'm trying to stay like unbiased about this, but I don't think they were having any negative effects from the divorce, and that's just what I got from the situation. But that's what's been going on with Amy, and also talking about how she hasn't been taking her medicine, not using the bathroom. None of this has been good. It also turns out she has been sleeping. She has sleep apnea, so she has what they call a CPAP machine. It's one of those machines that like it helps you breathe at night so you sleep, because if you have trouble breathing while you're sleeping, your body does more work basically to keep you alive. And so then, like, when you're up during the day, because your body's been doing all that work at night just to get oxygen going through you, you feel a lot tired in the day. And a lot of people have this problem, especially like overweight people, the elderly. It's something that can develop later on in life and all that. I believe. Not sure, but yeah, there's people that have problems with it. Sorry, a bit of rambling there. But yeah, it turns out she hasn't even been sleeping with that machine, so that's why she's been feeling sluggish and tired all the day. And of course, she's always going to the whole. Well, I was up late with the boys, and then of course, like she gets called out by Amanda, who says, well, I saw you on, you doing stuff on TikTok and stuff late at night. You stay up late, you're on TikTok. You're a little early in the mornings, you're on TikTok. And I don't use TikTok a whole lot. I just recently discovered Amy's, I think it's her main YouTube channel, I'm not sure. So I've kind of been like following that. But most stuff she posts on the YouTube channel is from the TikTok. If that's her, it might be somebody just posting her stuff from TikTok. I'm not entirely sure. Um, But yeah, just a lot going on with Amy, and you know, I think she is gonna eventually work through it. It seems like she's doing fine, but there's a lot going on. But yeah, I don't think the way the boys, especially Gage, have been acting. I think they've just been acting. I think Gage has been just acting like his normal self. Um, I don't think the divorce is going to have any negative effect on them, especially because they're so young. They're so young, and they probably haven't developed an attachment to Michael or anything like that as a father figure or anything like that. But anyways, let's move on to stuff going on with Tammy and Caleb, because these last two episodes, a lot has happened. Alright, so now let's jump into uh everything that's been going on with Tammy and Caleb. Um, as I said, I believe in the last video I did on Thousand Pound Sisters, one of the hardest parts about watching this new season has been watching the scenes with Caleb. Just because if you've been watching the show for a while and you kept up what happened last season, what's been going on between this season and last season, you probably already know that Caleb passed away um, around June of last year, I believe. Um, and so, well, watching the show and everything that's been going on with him in this new season has really like been very sad to say the least. Um, just like knowing that he doesn't make it, and seeing everything that's been going on. I mentioned this in my last video. Um, I really think his emotional eating ended up killing him. I think that's what happened, and I think that's just my personal opinion. I don't know. Um, no cause of death has really been released or anything like that, which is fine. That's the family's private business. They want to keep that, to them and everything. That's okay. Um, it's nothing I need to know. It's nothing you need to know. But just everything that I've seen that's been going on the show lately, that's what it seems like. And we've seen these last two recent episodes. In episode 5, Chris takes Tammy down to the rehab, which is in Kentucky, or they're from Georgia. I think the rehab place is in Kentucky. So they drive down to Kentucky, and she goes and visit Caleb. And one of the main things they have is she comes to realize that um, Caleb has been emotionally eating. Um, she goes into his room, and she finds like a box of snacks, cookies, candy, snack cakes, and all this stuff. Not open. He's not hiding or anything. And he makes some comment about he's got like a cheat day, and she talks to him, and she's like, well, you do want to come home and with me, get everything done. And of course he says yeah, and so they throw away all these snacks, and then like not even later they have a dinner date, and he orders a bunch of food, and it's all stuff that's fried, and this completely upsets her, you know because she's now staying away from the stuff. He makes a comment about how like she used to eat it in moderation while she was staying there, but now it seems like she's really focusing on like eating more healthier stuff. And because of the conversation earlier, it's just kind of like a bullet to Tammy that he did this and everything. I can understand why. She wants him to get better. That's the impression I got from watching it. Um, and Caleb, yeah, I really think he wants to do it too. But the feeling I got from this last episode is that when her and Chris were getting ready to leave and she was saying her goodbyes, um, he gets really emotional. He starts crying. He says he feels like he's pushing her away, and she does her best to console him and everything. And really, it just at the time, if you watch the episode when this is going on, it kind of seems like she feels really uncomfortable. Just by the look of her face, she's not sure what to do besides console him, tell him everything's gonna be all right. And it kind of comes across to me that Caleb has this neediness energy, and this is just my observation. Okay, um, when you have an energy that's needy, it tends to push people away. Um, and the problem with Caleb is that like he, it seems like he feels like he can't do it without Tammy being there, physically being there. And I said this in the last video I did. I really believe he would have made it if he had made himself um the priority and really focused on himself. All this energy of missing Tammy, want her to be there. Well, she got her surgery, she got her trach out and everything, and she got out of rehab. All that energy of missing her, he should have taken that, and instead of putting it into emotional eating, he should have put it into getting better. And I'm no judgment here or anything like that. I really like Caleb on the show. He's one of my favorite characters, and that's why it's been so hard. That's another reason why it's been so hard to watch everything that's been going on with him. Because besides Chris, he's one of the only really people I enjoy watching on the show, and it's just you know it's just sad about his passing. And I was on the 1,000 Pound Sisters subreddit just earlier before making this video. I seen somebody ask a question. I didn't look at the post, but somebody asked a question, or they said something like it feels kind of. They said there was a post that said it feels kind of rude that TLC hasn't put a in memory of Caleb Willingham screen up in one of these episodes. You know, it just kind of feels rude, and I hadn't thought about that until now. I think they'll probably they'll probably do that because I do think we are gonna see his passing this season. I've kind of been wondering if that's where the season is gonna end this year. Um, or if they filmed enough to where like they could have maybe that could be something at the beginning of season 6. I don't know, but yeah, guys. Just everything going on with this show. It's been insane. There's been some good stuff. I really love how like the family is. They've all had the surgery. They all want to work together and keep losing weight and everything. Um, but they really have to bring Amy out of her funk, get her to start taking care of herself, so that way she can be able to take care of the boys. Um, get her back on her meds, get her back on her CPAP machine. Um, Tammy, um, some interesting stuff going on with Tammy lately outside of the show recently. I might do a video on that, a separate video on that whole situation because there's been some crazy stuff going on with her lately. And yeah, so the show's been really good. Been enjoying it. Um, just That's just the one thing that makes me so sad to watch it. It's just the stuff going on with Caleb, and it's just been insane. And when if the episode if there is an episode where they're gonna focus on what happened to him, which I'm sure there will be, that will be a very emotional episode for me. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. Love watching this show. Love talking about it. Um, if you want me, instead of doing like these like as like three, instead of doing like a video on just like 3 episodes at once, I might start doing just a video on like the latest episode. I'll probably release it like the week after it's aired. That way I can focus more on like just one individual episode at a time. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please drop a like, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think, and I'll see you all in the next video. Love you guys.